G-Shock just released the ultimate Casioak. Let's get into it. Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. Today is all about G-Shock. Yeah. Now, it's no secret, one of my favourite G-Shocks over the last 2 years, modern G-Shocks, is the GBD 200. This was my first adventure into memory in pixel. Or MIP. An absolutely phenomenally, that is a word, legible G-Shock on a legible scale that outdoes every other G-Shock I own. This watch and any watch that is in the G-Squad lineup is more marketed towards a fitness type person who wants to track a jog or two or take part in a marathon. It's just like crazy people. Now, the only thing that watch is lacking is solar power. And unfortunately, it doesn't look as though G-Shock are going to bring out that anytime soon. But a couple of months ago, they released a brand new MIP display G-Shock that had a great resemblance to the Casioak. This new watch today, the GBD 300, although it may not be 100 times better than the GBD 200, I think it's a watch you should look at, especially if you like that Casioak look. So should you try a modern G-Shock in 2024? And what does the wife think at the end? Are you G-Shock ready? Let's go. So ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the GBD 300-1. On its release, there were 2 other versions of this watch, a sort of sickly, mango-y yellow colour one and a white one. Me, with my boring and bland tastes, I chose the black one. But look at this screen, people. Listen, if you're a certain type of age where your eyes are slightly deteriorating, these MIP display G-Shocks are absolutely essential. Anyway, you can see the resemblance to the Casioak. It's basically a G-Shock square that has been almost elongated and squished a bit to make this more rounded looking watch. I'm going to tell you straight away that this watch is made using bio resin or bioplastic, but we are dealing with a very premium G-Shock, people. This strap is the softest, most supplest band I've ever felt on a G-Shock. And I've felt a few, people. Anyway, this watch definitely looks modern, but in a good way, for me anyway. It's not soulless looking. There is a character to it. We've got that hexagonal bezel. The 4 buttons around the watch are definitely unique to this watch. G-Shocks with MIP displays tend to have fat buttons and they tend to be quite easy to push in. I really like the screen around the LCD display. It does remind me of the old brick pattern from the first G-Shock.
They're reeling me in, people.
You can already tell that the top right button is going to be important to you because of that little bit of colour it has on the top. MIP G-Shocks work a little differently to regular ones, and I probably would say they don't work as well, but there is the trade-off, people. You don't get that type of screen unless you get a MIP. Good lot of text on this case and screen. It's all tastefully done in the same colours, but it's definitely a Casio, isn't it? Like I said at the start, this band is definitely premium. It's the softest one I've ever felt. I do appreciate the amount of holes it gives you as well with these really thin slats. You're going to get a fantastic fit, there's no doubt. Also, I do love these big flaps. These ones, yeah. What they do is they conform to the band. It's almost like a transition from the case to the band to make it feel very comfortable. And everything just looks sleek and modern with a little hint of G-Shock heritage. Quick spec check. Okay, so this isn't small, but G-Shocks in general aren't. And I still think it's going to fit a lot of wrists. The watch is just over 47 millimeters from left to right. It's just over 48 from top to bottom. It's 14.9 millimeters thick, which is a 0.1 of a millimeter thinner than the GBD 200. The LCD screen is protected by a mineral glass, and the whole thing weighs 60 grams, which is 2 grams heavier than the GBD 200. And it's at this point I pull in the GBD 200 just to compare these bad boys together. Now they both house the same module. So the only thing that's different between these two watches is aesthetics. What it looks like. We've got one watch that looks like a G-Shock Square, the original one from 1983. And we've got this new one that has a resemblance of the new wave. The GA 2100s that, to be fair, haven't been around that long. Holding these together, I would say that the GBD 300 has a much softer band than this one. The buckles and keepers are exactly the same, as well as the amount of holes in the strap. It might be because the GBD 200 has been with me for a while, I might just still be liking this one more than the new one. But I don't know, it's too hard to choose. What do you think?
Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
I'm going to show you another reason why there's a trade-off having this awesome screen. Here I have my phenomenal DW290. Beautiful, isn't it? With most Casios you and I have, the mode button is in the bottom left corner and you push it like this. And the beep happens when you push it. Could do that all day. With a MIP G-Shock, it's when you release the button, that's when the beep happens, and it's rather uneasy. I feel a bit weird when I do it. Have a listen. So I push down, let go, there. And it's almost a delay after I let go. It's quite slow. Now you can turn these beeps off, but it wouldn't be a Casio without beeps, so I'm keeping it on. There are quite a few things you can do when you connect this bad boy to your phone using the G-Shock Move app. Having learned a couple of years ago that you don't particularly need it, and by the end of the day, the amount of times this thing goes off telling you of notifications on your emails, messages, phone calls, you end up wanting to throw it in the bin, I have decided not to connect this to my phone. With the app, you can log up to 100 runs. Oh God. And in those logs, you're gonna see what calories you burnt, what distance you ran, and how fast you did it. But all the things I really care about in this watch, I can do without the phone. Stopwatch. Now, unfortunately, with MIP stopwatches, you can only time in seconds. With my £30 DW290, you can do 100th of a second, but that's another trade-off. It hasn't got a countdown timer as such, but it has workout intervals, which is kind of the same thing-ish. You can show 3 displays on this watch, the main one, and then a feature that I do quite like, the step counter. I do like to know from time to time how many steps I've done, and this screen shows you what steps you've done each day in like a graph, and the next display shows you how well you did each month. Slightly too obsessive to worry about it, but I quite like it to be there. The last display allows you to show another time. So this is a GMT.
Snazzy!
You don't get a G-Shock without a light either, do you? At the bottom, in the middle, you have the light button. Gives you 2 strong, powerful white LED lights. You can have this light on for 1.5 seconds or 3 seconds. You also have the auto light function where you turn your wrist and then the light pops up. The batteries in these things are going to last you around 2 years. This watch can also vibrate. It can vibrate when you push the buttons in, and it can also vibrate when it has an alarm or a notification. In the GBD 200, I deactivated the vibrate a long time ago to conserve the battery. This is coming up to its 3rd year, and the screen and the battery still looks lovely. Obviously, because this is a G-Shock, you get 200 meters of water resistance and your anti-shock treatment on the module. It's gonna take one heck of a blow to make this watch go weird.
Hello.
On my 6.5-inch wrist, and I really like it. I really like it. I love the shape of the case. I love how the case goes into the strap. Those 2 big wing flaps underneath the case are definitely making it a comfortable wear, there's no doubt about that. I'd even say more comfortable than the GBD 200. The screen is legible no matter where you go. I'll be wearing this a lot to work. And at 60 grams, you can hardly feel it on the wrist. It's a great sports watch. Tastefully done and great to look at. So there you go, the GBD 300. 100 more times better than the GBD 200. No, it's not. The modules are the same, the features are the same. When it comes to comfort levels, I would say that the GBD 300 is up a couple of notches on the 200. I think they've nailed this flap feature, you know. I've got to admit though, I do prefer pushing the backlight on the 200, but the big question is, which one do I recommend to you? Can I say both? No! I'm probably gonna still go with the GBD 200 just because it has that hint, that homage to the first G-Shock that came out in 1983. It has that hexagonal look. Although, it's a really close one. That band is so soft. I paid £92 for this watch, which is still less than this GBD 200 that has been out for over 2 years. If you haven't experienced a modern mid-display G-Shock yet, blooming go ahead and do it. Don't be scared by the smartwatch features. I've disabled them. I don't use them. Whichever one you do get. Look how clear these are. These are definitely gems in the G-Shock lineup, that's for sure. Just because these watches are made for marathon runners does not mean we can't have a look at them too. Go ahead and buy yourself a beautiful mid-display G-Shock and thank me later. G-Shocks! Oh, it's all right, they're G-Shocks. So here it is, my wife's thoughts on the GBD 300 phenomenal mid-display watch. This is boring looking. I'm pretty sure I've seen this before. If I haven't, then this one's just that little bit rounder. Whoopsie-doo. I do like the screen, it's very easy to read and reminds me of a hologram. But still, boring. Get it away. Another solid review from the wife. She loves a hologram. Whatever that meant. Superb stuff. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you want a bit more of the Mad Watch Collector channel, click there. Yeah, join. But if I've got you for a few more minutes, which I know I do, go on, click this one. Go on. Go on. This is a phenomenal show. Go on, click it. I can't stay here all day. I haven't got a watch on. I feel naked. Need to put a watch on. Anyone will do. Go on, click it. Click it.